Hello, Michelle here from Bloomella, and thank you so much for joining me here on YouTube for another Bloom in 5. And today we are painting pretty tropical fish, which is a super fun subject to do because there's lots of colours that you can use and textures like pretty scales and details like the gills and the tails. So it's super fun to try. So I am painting 5 tropical fish today. We have this gorgeous butterfly fish, this Anthias fish, which hopefully I've said correctly, a Dory, and also 2 Tangs, a purple and a yellow one that also looks slightly green. So we've got some lovely greens and yellows going on. So I've started off first with my butterfly fish, which is this gorgeous yellow and will have a blue patch on the eye. And then we're moving over to the Anthias fish. Again, hopefully I've said that correctly. And it's this absolutely stunning orange, which is one of my favourite colours, like especially coral oranges. And we've got this gorgeous blend going from light to dark. And we're also going to add in a gorgeous pink panel. And you can see I'm just trying out some mixes, just testing these on a bit of spare watercolour paper. If you do have any spare paper, or if you're chucking away any old paintings that you didn't like or didn't want, you can always cut off any spare edging and use these for tester strips, which is super handy. You can also use printer paper, but obviously using similar textured paper also gives you a slightly better idea as you advance. So it's super handy to have, and you can see we've tested out a few pinks and I've used the one closest to the reference image that I mixed. So you can see me just adding that here. So there's lots of pretty details you can also add, like the top fins, the side fins, and also the tail. And just using the tip of the brush, I'm just adding in some of those darker colours. When the fish are in water, obviously you can see a lot of the see-through transparent blue coming through, depending on the background colour of the water, but obviously we're just using very faint colors and little lines to duplicate what the fish would look like sort of outside of water, because obviously we don't have that same background. And now we're moving on to our gorgeous blue Dory. So we're using this really pretty blue, like a powdery blue, and we're just painting this round, adding in this lovely background color and just leaving some of those exposed shapes that we can paint later on once the first layer is dry. So it's all about initially just doing the first layers, and as I always say, that's why I love doing more than one element, so I can allow for the elements to dry as I'm going along and can add lots of detail as I'm going. I was predominantly a clip art artist, which means that I create individual clip art for sale. So I'm very used to creating these individual elements rather than a large landscape of them all together interacting, if that makes sense. And now we've moved on to this really pretty purple Tang, and it also has some absolutely gorgeous orange details as well, which we will be adding again in a minute. But we're just adding in that lovely soft layer and then adding in the lovely purple for the middle section, which really helps to create that form of the fish and that lovely rounded effect. And just adding a little bit more concentrated pigment to the top and the sides and the tail, and you can add in that lovely form, and again just round the eye and a little bit more detail where you see the more prominent colour. And also we've got our gorgeous Tang at the bottom as well, which is also like a yellowy green Tang, which we'll be doing in a minute. And we're just adding some of that lovely colour to our purple Tang still, just using those lovely colours, those citrusy colours for more of the details around the tail and the front. And then again, just moving on to our last final fish, not to forget our lovely yellow Tang. Like I mentioned, it's got a lovely green colour also running through it, and apparently I saw online that in different lights the fish can appear slightly different colors, and this is why in the photo of this one, the reference image that I'm using, this one does appear a little bit more like a neon yellow and with hints of like a neon green. So as you can see, the video jumps slightly there because I was letting all of the layers dry, especially the Tang, because I'm resting my wrist on top of that one, so I need to make sure that's dry not to smudge any of those details across the page. And if anyone's watched my videos before, you know I'm extremely clumsy and at least end up spilling my water, dropping my brush, smudging some artwork. So if I can eliminate as many clumsinesses as possible, then I will do. So allowing the layers to dry in between helps with that. So that's a good tip. So moving on, you can see we've added the blue patch to our butterfly fish, and we're also adding some more details to our Anthias fish, just adding in some details on the tail and the fins using the tip and just bringing that brush round. using the tip and just pushing the tip flat to create some lovely textures and some lovely lines. And you often see in fish you have those darker stripes running through the middle, and that really helps create the form, like I mentioned with our purple tang. And as you can see, the watercolors do dry a lot lighter, so even that lovely purple stripe we've had has already been like diluted, and we can't even really see that now. So it's just about building those layers and adding that color. If you do find your watercolors are quite flat, it may be a case that you just need more layers to add those additional pigments on top to really build that color and form to make them pop. So that's always really handy. So you can see here we're adding in that extra area again, we're blending that out, we're leaving the exposed fin, and we're really just building up these gorgeous pretty colors. So whether you want to do just one of the fish or all of the fish, it's a super fun project to do because of all the gorgeous colors, and it's great for practicing some of your mixing as well, especially if you only have a limited palette. If you've just started out in watercolor and you perhaps only have a small selection of colors, then this really gives you a great chance to mix a lot of your colors, your lemons and your greens, your yellows and greens, and your purples and pinks to create some really nice popping colors. So you can see we're going back again to our first butterfly fish, just using the tip of the brush and just adding some of those really nice details, and just using some nice blends to duplicate some of those scales and finer details. And we're just mixing some more of that yellow to add in some of like the little tiny little fringing details that you can see on the tails, and just helps to add that realistic fish look. And these are the details and the layers I get really excited about, because initially you have that very flat stage where it doesn't really look like what you're trying to paint. And sometimes even I get a little bit disillusioned thinking, oh, is this going down the right path? But then as it all comes together, if you stay persistent with it and determined, the end result is normally exactly what you were going for. It's just about being patient through the layers and just building those colors and forms and really experimenting and learning as you go along. I'm still always learning and growing from watercolor. I feel like in anything you do, it's always important to still grow and learn new techniques yourself, no matter how many techniques you know, whether it's hundreds and hundreds. So it's good to keep building your study and information that you're learning about your topic, and then I can pass that on to everybody else as well as I'm learning. So as you can see, I'm adding a lot more details now to the fish using the tip of the brush, blending those gorgeous colors out and really helping to create those nice fin details at the back, and then just painting using the specific tip detail of the brush, just using it for an outline of that eye there, and then just building up the color and some of those lovely details. And you don't always have to add black, you can add like some nice deep purples or nice deep greens, deep blues, and mixing those with the colors that you already have can create some really, really pretty mixes. So it's always good to experiment with those. You don't always have to jump to black because you want a shadow or a darker section. So that's a good tip as well for keeping a nice palette going as well without anything too harsh cropping up. And you can see now we're just using a stippling effect to create some really pretty scales. You don't necessarily have to paint every single scale just because you see a detailed fish. We're just using a flat part of the brush to duplicate a little pattern along the side of the fish, which really helps to represent those scales. Like I say, we're not trying to create an overly hyper realistic fish, we're just creating a watercolor style version, but we do have a few little details in there as well which represents the scales or the patterns. Like on our butterfly fish, we created those really nice side stripes, and I do try and include reference images that gives you a lot of variation so we can see scales and stripes and colors and different mixes. So it gives a really nice example. And over on my Patreon, as you've seen just drop down now, we have a color palette included. We have obviously images of the references of what I use and the sketches included, and a real-time talk through. And it's actually an hour and a half long video of painting this in real time, so in a lot more detail. And this is an example of what's included on Patreon. So I have a Bloom in Full every single Monday, Patreon exclusive masterclasses in detail, sketchbook sessions, and lots more. Even on the free version of Patreon, you can join in with behind the scenes and poll votes and also palette suggestions every single month to give you ideas for your painting and colour ideas as well. So hopefully you will join me over on Patreon, whether it's the free or paid version. It would be lovely to have you over in the club. you are most welcome. So here we go back to YouTube, and you can see we're just painting in some of the really lovely details on the fin on our dory fish. And as you can see, I made a little mistake there, and I'm just painting it, just painting with a flat brush, some water onto the paper, and then just lifting it with the tissue. So if you do manage to catch any of your painting, which is easily done, I do it quite a bit, trying to get less clumsy, but I can catch it, especially if I'm talking during the video. I find myself not as concentrating as much as I should be, so it's quite easy to catch. So it's normally if I'm trying to do too many things at once, I end up catching them because I'm not focusing, but it's quite easy just to lift it up if you do make a mistake, so don't worry. And going back to our lovely purple tang, you can see we've added in some gorgeous details here, and we're adding in a lot of those sort of darker purples as well, and that's really helped to build up that form compared to our first flat dry layer. If you remember, that initial stripe that we painted in had pretty much blended out, and we didn't have that nice form that we were after, and now we've really got that going on, so it's really coming together nicely. And just adding a little bit of that fringing detail again, using the tip of the brush and following it down, and you can see we're really adding in those little details, those finer details, to bring the fin together, and also around the rest of the fish as well. And then we're adding in, using a small brush, just those finer details along the top edge, and it really does just tie it all together and bring it together. And I just love these little fish. I just could imagine them on like fabric, or like greeting cards, or just like a little gift tag. I just think they're just gorgeous colours, and they're the sort of thing that would make somebody smile. So they make me smile anyway, so let me know in the comments if they make you happy. And then just adding a little bit more detail there on the fin, using the darker colours, and just painting what we see in the reference images, adding like little gill stripes. And I always find this super interesting as well, because I feel like I learn something new with all these different topics that I do. Even though I've painted lots of fish before, I really try to look into, like I mentioned, about the colour changing with the yellow tang, and just like the different shapes of them. And even when I'm talking through on the real-time Patreon version, I'm talking about how the eyes are quite different on some of them. You can see the top two fish, the eyes are quite close to the mouth, whereas on the tang and the dory, the eyes are quite far away from the mouth. So just these little details are quite interesting, and you wouldn't necessarily pick them up if you were just painting one individual fish. So it's quite interesting from that perspective. So we're just moving on to our lovely yellow tang in the bottom right hand corner, with the hint of green, as we've mentioned. And you can see we're just using the tip of the brush now just to paint a little bit more detail onto that particular fish. And you can see it's all coming together nicely compared to our first layer, where it was quite flat. And it is important to have some patience to allow some of the layers to dry, because with the dory, if you tried to paint the black when the blue hadn't dried, that will all blend together and you will have quite a blurry edge, which is great if you're going for a very relaxed style. But if you're trying to create sort of an in-between, a hyper-realistic and just a loose watercolour study, then you still want those layers to dry to create a little bit of a definition there and a little bit of edging, so you've got that nice detail. But if you're creating something quite loose and flowy and sort of very relaxed style, then you don't have to be too specific with the layers, you know, sort of drying each time. And it's a great experiment to do in a sketchbook or some cheaper watercolor paper that you're just going to have fun with and not worry too much about, because when you first start watercolor, the watercolor paper is, I appreciate, very expensive, and you don't want to waste it too much on just experimenting when you can use like a cheaper style pad for that, or a cheaper sketchbook. So you can see now we're just painting in the nice details, doing like the rim around the eye, and again each of them have slightly different eyes and mouths and gills, so it's all quite interesting, and just learning about how the details are different, and some of the shadowing and shading is different as well on each individual fish, and just adding in those slight elements. Like the dory had quite a lot of spotting between the eye and the mouth, and as we saw, Anthias fish had a lot of scales down the side which were quite prominent, and the purple tang had some really nice details on the tail. So we've allowed to add a lot of different textures within the painting as well. So just finishing off with the eyes, which really I think bring it together. As soon as you add the eyes, it's got that real personality. So I had great fun painting these. It was so much fun, like doing the colours and the mixing. I had so much fun. So I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you so much for joining me on YouTube for another Bloom in 5. I have lots of these videos in a whole series if you would like to watch them, and I will show an overview of the fish shortly when they were all finished. So if you would like to join me for any other videos, And again, you're most welcome over on Patreon, which is patreon.com/Bloomella. If you would like to join me over there, there are free and paid memberships. So thank you again and have a lovely day.